All right, what is up, everybody? We are back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one today. When we talk about the OKC Thunder, man, they have been absolutely just dominating throughout the NBA this year. 29-5. They had a great win last night against the New York Knicks in a great game. And yeah, I just want to talk about the OKC Thunder, what makes them so great, why they're so good, and all the stuff surrounding them here in today's video. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. Link to my Twitters and all that stuff down in the description below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're currently 29-5, sitting at the number one spot in the Western Conference. Second best record in the NBA, only behind the Cleveland Cavaliers. And they have been absolutely hooping. They are currently on a 14-game win streak. They have not lost a game since December 1st against the Houston Rockets, where they lost by 3. But overall, they won 14 games in a row. They won 18 of their last 19 games, and they are just absolutely rolling through the NBA because these games haven't really been close. Like I'm looking at the game log right now for this 14-game win streak. They beat the Utah Jazz by 27. They beat the Raptors by over 30. Beat the Pelicans by 10. Mavericks by 14. Rockets by 15. Magic by 6. Miami by 7. Washington by 18. Indiana by 6. Charlotte by 12. Memphis by 24. Minnesota by 8. The Clippers by 12. And then last night they beat the Knicks by 10 in a very good game last night where they were down. Everybody was hooping. Mikal Bridges had a great half. OG Anunoby was hitting shots. Everything was going good. We get to the third quarter. OKC's defense takes place. They only allow the Knicks to shoot 31% from the field. They only hit 1 3-pointer in that quarter. While OKC's Shea and J-Dub each had 9 points. They get to the fourth quarter, and Aaron Wiggins was one of the reasons why they won this game. He went 4 for 4 from 3, 5 for 5 from the field, had 15 points in the fourth. Shea had 8 points in the quarter. New York 3-pointer, Wilden Fall, they shot 1 for 9 from 3 in the fourth quarter. And OKC puts up 37 in the fourth compared to New York's 19, and they ended up getting a W in a very good game. But yeah, OKC has been rolling through the entire NBA. Looking at some of their stats this season, they have the 7th rated offense, the number 1 rated defense, first in net rating. It really has been the defense. The defense has been elite for the entirety of the season for OKC. They've always been at the top of the defensive metrics the entirety of the year. Their offense is always really good. Obviously, you have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, J-Dub. You have guys that can shoot the 3-ball. Their offense is really pretty good still. 10th in points per game, 10th in field goal percentage. They're just an efficient offense. They don't shoot a lot of threes. That's the only thing. They don't really shoot a whole bunch of threes, even though they're starting to take a little bit more. Especially Shai's been taking a lot more this season. But they're just efficient. They're efficient in scoring the ball when they need to, and they have a guy in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander who can basically score anytime he wants to. So that helps a lot in the offensive end. But it really has been their defense. Their defense has been absolutely phenomenal. Looking at some of their defensive stats, they're first in turnovers per game, meaning they don't turn the ball over a whole lot, but they're also first in steals per game. And it's also a crazy stat that they have, as a team this season, 399 steals, 401 turnovers. They only have two more turnovers than steals this season. There's at one point, I think a week or two ago, where they have more steals and turnovers in this entire season as a team. When you do that as a player, that's really impressive. Doing that as a team for an entirety of a season is insane. I mean, even now, even though they don't have it right now, only 2 more turnovers and steals is crazy. Like, looking at, hold on, I'm gonna go here. Looking at all the other teams, their turnovers to steals, Boston, 412 turnovers, 268 steals. Miami, 435 turnovers, 281. Cleveland, 443 turnovers, 304. Everyone else has over 400 turnovers and less than 300 assists, mostly. And they have teams with 500 turnovers, 200 assists. 200 steals. Yeah, 500 turnovers, 200 steals. OKC, 399 turnovers, 401 steals per game. Like, that's insane. Actually, they do. I wrote it wrong in my notes. They do have more steals and turnovers on this season. 401 steals, 399 turnovers. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's a credit to how amazing their defense is, but also how efficient and how smart this offense is. Where they play a very kind of simple game of offense, but it just works. They put their players in the best position to win. Where Shai Alexander has an opportunity to just go on one-on-one a lot. J-Dub also is a great, efficient shooter. He's going to get his buckets. And then also they have a lot of players that don't do too much. Like Lou Dort knows his role is to shoot threes. Isaiah Hartenstein is a really smart, high IQ big man. Guys like Cason Wallace, Kendrick Williams, they know their role is to shoot threes, get the ball to Shea. And if they need to get a bucket, sometimes they're gonna. But they don't have a lot of people on this team that are gonna just try to play hero ball and try to be like, I gotta go get mine or anything like that. Like play selfishly. This team, they play like a team. They play like a team. Everyone knows their roles and they're striving in it. But looking at the defensive end, where everybody competes on the defensive end. Everyone I see that goes out there for the OKC Thunder competes. Even guys like AJ Mitchell, who is not really like a big, strong guy. Like he's gonna go out there and compete. Like everybody does. Looking at some of their defensive stats, they're fifth in blocks per game, despite having not a lot of size. First in points off turnovers per game, and also first in opponent points off turnovers, which is the same thing. Basically, they score the most points off turnovers and also allow the least amount of points off turnovers. So if you're getting about what, well, I can see what they average here. They average 23 points off turnovers and only give up 12. So basically, you're doubling the amount of points off turnovers that you're getting in terms of against giving up. That's an extra 12 points right there. That's huge. You know, first in points off turnovers, first in opponent points off turnovers, second in opponent fast break points. So they're not giving up. A lot of teams get out on the break because they don't turn the ball over that much. First in opponent points in the paint as well. So they're not giving up points in the paint. First in opponent field goals made, fourth in opponent field goal attempts, first in opponent field goal percentage. So teams are just not hitting shots against them. Third in opponent 3-pointers made, first in opponent 3-point percentage. So teams are not hitting threes. Even though their 3-point attempts are about average, they're not like super crazy at giving up threes. Like they give up their fair share of threes, but teams are just not making them. They're third in opponent assist, first in opponent turnovers, first in opponent steals, first in opponent points per game. The only thing that's not great in their stats is rebounding. We all know they're a smaller team, especially without Chet Holmgren, with just Isaiah Hartenstein. Jalen Williams just got back. They're not a very big team, so they're prone to sometimes giving up rebounds. That was a story last night against the Knicks, where a lot of their like Karl Towns had 20 boards. Like they're gonna give up rebounds. They're gonna give up rebounds. They're gonna give up some size just because of their roster and what they have on there. But the great thing is they make up for it because they have so many elite defenders around there that's like, all right, you can get your extra offensive rebound too. We're just gonna stop you for an extra possession. Which is a tough game to play, but with the team they have, it's been working so far. You know, um, looking at their players individually. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, one more thing before we get to that is just how amazing this team has been. Chet Holmgren still hasn't played in a very long time. Chet Holmgren has only played 10 games this season. He hasn't played a game since November 10th when he broke his hip or did something to his hip against the Warriors. He hasn't played since that game, and since that game, they've only lost 3. Since that game, there's a 3, 7, and then 4. They're 21-3 since Chet Holmgren went out with an injury. 21-3. That's ridiculous. That's insane. They're missing your second most important player, Chet Holmgren, and they are 21-3 without him. And they still are keeping up this elite level of defense without him. Like the defense has not dropped off without Chet Holmgren, who, for my money, was going to be the DPOY, before he got hurt. Like insane stuff. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is just running through the NBA right now. Like he's really turned up the MVP conversation. And honestly, he might be the MVP right now, man. Like Jokic is having an incredible season. Giannis is also having an incredible season. But Shai, man, like he is just like he's creeping more and more up my personal MVP ladder. He's number 3 firmly right now. Even he might be number 2. I don't know. It's tough, man. I mean, he's giving you 31, 5, and 6, 2 steals and a block. He's shooting 52% from the field, 35% from 3, 88% from the free throw line. And over this 14-game win streak, which he's played in every game, by the way, of this 14-game win streak, he's giving you 33, 5, and 5, 2 steals and a block on 55, 37, 93 shooting. And out of these 14 games, he's had over 30 in 10 of them. And in 3 of those games, he's had 40. So, yeah, this guy, I mean, he's phenomenal. We already know how great Shai is. J-Dub, I think, should make the All-Star team. OKC deserves 2 All-Stars, and I think J-Dub's probably going to make it, give you 21, 5, and 5 with almost 2 steals on 48, 35, 77 shooting. He's just super, super efficient. I love J-Dub ever since coming into the NBA. Just a really good baller. He's efficient. He can score from all 3 levels. He can play make. He can defend. He can do so many different things. So J-Dub was really good. And then Isaiah Hartenstein was a huge addition to this team. And without Chet Holmgren in there, he has stepped up and he's been great. He missed the first couple games of the season. We have not seen Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren together yet. But Isaiah Hartenstein give you 12 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and a block on 57% shooting. He's had some big games. And an insane stat is Isaiah Hartenstein's played in 19 games this year. Isaiah Hartenstein's played 19 games. In the 19 games that he's played, the Thunder are 18-1. The Thunder have only lost one game with Isaiah Hartenstein in the lineup this season. So that just shows you how impactful he's been, you know. And then you have so many other role players that just fit in on this team. Lou Dort is a 40% three-point shooter. We already know he's one of the toughest players to score against on the perimeter. Give you almost 10 points per game with 4.5 rebounds and a steal. Isaiah Joe, even though he's not shooting the ball as amazing as he did the last 2 years, he's still a guy you have to respect as a shooter. 35% from three, and is still a guy that can get hot and have a game where he hits 6 or 7 threes and can change the game. Aaron Wiggins is hitting another stat as a role player. Like, as Aaron Wiggins has been really good since coming into the league, but this year he's taking another step. 9 points per game, 39% shooting from three, 46% from the field. He's just a super smart and efficient player, Aaron Wiggins. Like, he's always a guy that he's gonna make his back cuts, he's gonna hit his shots, he's never gonna do too much. He's gonna defend, he's gonna get the shots where he needs to and knock them down. And that Knicks game last night was an indicator of what he is because he hit four huge 3-pointers in that fourth quarter. Kaysa Wallace, second-year player, even though he's not shooting the ball super well, he's only shooting 30% from three. He's going to give you a defensive end, averaging almost 2 steals per game. Just has that dog mentality where he's going to go out and play hard, compete on the defensive end, and then when he needs his shot on the offensive end, he can do it. AJ Mitchell was a second-round pick this year out of UCSB, and he's a rotational player now. He's played in every game this season. 6 points, 2 rebounds, 50% from the field, 43% from three. An efficient guard that's just going to hit his shots where he needs to, be another ball handler on the court, do his thing. Kenny Hustle, Kenneth Williams, 44% shooting from three. A veteran wing that's going to come in and do what he has to do, be another ball handler, defend, hit shots when he needs to. A smart, high IQ player. Alex Caruso, the big acquisition, isn't having a great offensive year this year, only shooting 26% from three, 37% from the field. But we know, like, the value of Alex Caruso comes in the defensive end. And he makes so many plays on the defensive end, averaging almost 2 steals per game. Guards, your best perimeter player. It makes the extra hustle plays. We've seen, you could probably go to every game he's played in this year and have a play or two that changed the game just because he just plays so hard and competes so hard for this team. And yeah, you just have so many guys like that. So many guys have the same kind of mentality where they all just go out and they want to compete hard. They want to defend. They want to, cause chaos. They want to go make the extra play, for the team. So everybody on this roster does that. They have the same mentality, and they've built such an amazing team and amazing culture over there. And that's why they're so good, man. They have everything you need from them. You need scoring, you got scoring. You need shooting, you got shooting. You need defense, you got defense. You need big moments, little big moments, they can make it. They need the little margin plays that determine overall of a game. They make that happen too. They do everything. The only thing you really don't have is size in terms of big, but also a big wing. That was a little bit exposed in the Milwaukee Bucks, the NBA Cup Finals game, where Giannis was kind of taking advantage of everybody on the team. So a bigger wing, maybe a 6'8", 6'9" wing, would really do a lot for this team. Maybe like a Cam Johnson. I mean, that's also the thing. They have every draft pick for the next 10 years that if they want to go make a move and upgrade, they can. They have the ability to. And Sam Presti has shown, like, why should we not trust Sam Presti to make a move? So if they want to go get a Cam Johnson or want to go get another big wing that can help this team, they just send him a first round pick, a couple seconds, and send him like Ousmane Dieng, and there you go. You got Cam Johnson on your team. So like they just have basically how do I even say this? They're the team that everybody is jealous of. Like everybody's jealous of the OKC Thunder. I am, and I'm a Cavs fan. I have nothing to be sad about. We're 30-4. We're dominating. But even you have to have a little bit of jealousy for OKC because it feels like they just have everything. They got talent. They have depth. They have a good coach. They have a great front office. They have all the assets that you need. Like it feels they have everything. They have everything. Everything. They have it. Like they can become a dynasty. They literally have all the talent, all the pieces, everything in the arsenal to become a dynasty and really to be able to dominate the NBA for however long. Because also all their like top key players are still very young. Shai Alexander's 26, J Dub's 23, Chetna's 22. Those three are still they didn't even hit their prime yet of 27. J Dub and Chet Holmgren are still on rookie contracts. Like, it's crazy to think how good this team already is right now, but also how scary they can be for the next couple of years in the future. You know, now obviously we're focused on this season, and they're focused on this season. They want to go out and win a championship. They're the favorites in the Western Conference right now. They should be the favorites in the Western Conference right now. I mean, looking at everybody in the West, I don't know who I'm taking over OKC. Like against Memphis, I'm taking OKC. They have, even though I love the Grizzlies, OKC just has more over there. Against Houston, I'm taking OKC. Houston just doesn't have experience yet. Against the Lakers, I'm taking OKC. They just have a better roster. Against Denver, I'm taking OKC. Even though Jokic probably is the best player in that series, OKC has the better talent overall than everybody besides that. The Clippers, the Spurs, Warriors, OKC just has more talent and a better roster than all these other teams. So like, yeah, I just don't see a world where they don't at least make the conference finals unless another big injury happens, which I'm praying, hope that does not happen because I really want to see this team full in depth going into the playoff run, and hopefully Chet Holmgren could be back in time for the playoff run as well, because they're going to need him down the stretch when they have to face off against guys like a Jokic or an Anthony Davis, you know, when it gets to that time. But I mean, this team just is amazing. They're really good. They do everything very well, and are they going to win a championship this year? Maybe. Why not? Why not have them win a championship this year? You know, they're really, really good. I cannot wait to see what the rest of the season looks like. And I cannot wait to see their playoff run. Everybody's focused right now for them on the playoff run and how far can they go. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you enjoyed the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turn on notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.